I like this. We stand and
Everybody
that's
stand.
power, right?
And they get so quiet.
I
They
know.
get so quiet.
So welcome to the February 8th session. Before we start, we always open with a prayer. Once again, we have Pastor Michael Brandenburg from the Greenbush Baptist Church. Always glad to see you here. If you would do us the honor.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's an honor to be here. Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father God, today we thank you for your blessings upon us today, especially when we have recently turned the page in our history into a new year with new challenges and new debates, and look forward with expectancy to your provision with your promise. Your word decrees it is only by your mercies that we are not consumed, because your compassion fails not, and your mercy is new every morning, and great is your faithfulness. We pray, Lord, specifically today for those assembled in this chamber. In our hearts we plan our course, but we pray, Lord, that you establish our steps, and let us not make decisions based on what we know, but let's make them based upon your wisdom. I pray today for our nation, our president, and all various levels of officials, particularly for this assembled council. I'm asking that you grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests of our time, a sense of welfare for the true needs of our people, confidence and personal peace in their lives, and the joy for their task. To know when to talk and when to listen in this noisiness of what passes for political debate today. I pray specifically for those gathered in this chamber and the agenda set before them today. Give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around this county of Clermont. It is in your blessed name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Michael. Commissioner Painter, you want to lead us in the pledge?
Be honored to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda is the approval of the regular session minutes of February 1st, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. And at this time, we have some new employees. And Susan, I think you're up first. Uh-oh.
I guess do it another day. He didn't come.
We'll defer on that.
Well, yeah.
We'll just hold until they can get here. Could you give them a call real quick?
We're all waiting. I'll let him know.
Lyle, I think you have someone.
Good morning. I have a new employee, Chris Mosley. Chris started 2 or 3 weeks ago with us. He's working as an operator 1 at our PUB water treatment plant on first shift. Chris comes to us. He had a welding background, working as a welder. Was talking to him kind of what was the decision for a career change, and he said he wanted to move into a safer work environment. So we provided that, and we're happy to have him. He will need to get his Class 1 license, so going to work towards that over the next couple of years and hopefully get that.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.
Terry, are you doing?
Morning, Commissioners. I am Terry Brandenburg, HR Assistant Court Director. I have with me this morning Julia Gammon. She's our newest hire in the Human Resources Department. She is our Administrative Support Coordinator. Julia has her bachelor's in business management and comes to us with many years of work experience, including human resources support, most recently at the University of Cincinnati. So we're very excited to have her with our team and look forward to working with her for many years. And I told her that's a hit. Many years.
Welcome. Thank you. Mr. Pappas?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
This morning, my newest employee, she's our receptionist down at the animal shelter. This is Rhonda Gabbard. Rhonda has actually been a friend of my family well before I was even born. So she's seen me grow up. And we've kept in constant contact over the years. She's been in home health care for the majority of all those years. And with the compassion she has for, human beings, she also has even more compassion for the animals. She's been a lifelong resident of Clermont County, 43 years. Her and her husband has been married. They have 2 kids. One is living abroad or living out of state, and the other one is local. And all 3 of them, for 8-10 years now, have been volunteering down at the shelter and also with some animal rescues in the area. So when a position came open, I started talking to her, and here she is.
So she knows all the dirt on you, right?
Well, it's a heavy price to pay, but it's worth it.
Thank you. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Your person's not here yet, Susan? You want to just, should we come back or should we have Susan just acknowledge?
We can defer.
Okay,
It's fine.
okay. So why don't we give it a few minutes, Mike? He's back there with that camera wanting to get that picture. Why don't we wait a little bit so we can include that person also? Is that okay with you? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to item C, public participation. I don't see anyone outside. Item D is consent agenda. Oh, wait a minute. We're supposed to move H up. Sorry, Tom, I almost messed it up.
It's okay.
County staff elected official discussion. Susan.
Susan and Daphne. Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
This is Daphne Reeves. She's the Director over Public Assistance in Ohio Means Jobs. We just came before you today just to talk about a few things that are happening within our departments. We obviously administer the SNAP program through Public Assistance, and there's been some changes that are being made, and I'll let Daphne kind of explain that because she's definitely the expert
Susan,
on it.
just make sure for those that are in attendance and those that might watch it, that you just explain the acronym SNAP so
I
people.
was going to.
Oh,
Yeah, acronyms are confusing at times.
yeah. So SNAP is a Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program. I'm just going to read this little blurb for everyone. Throughout the pandemic, SNAP households, so people that are receiving food assistance, have received temporary additional benefits. These were called emergency allotments. These additional benefits were authorized as part of the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. All our SNAP households in Clermont County have been receiving the maximum benefit amount that the federal government allows us to give. Every SNAP household has also been receiving an additional $95 per month. So starting in March 1st, these households will go back to their regular one-time allotment. This is a new change. People have been receiving the extra benefits for 3 years. So March 1st, they'll be going back to their original allotments. We know in Clermont County, there is sometimes food insecurity. So one of the things that we're doing at JFS is starting a pantry where families, they can self-attest to needing assistance with groceries. They can come into our facility. We'll have someone work the pantry and be able to give out some additional food from the Free Store Food Bank in order to help them with their losing their benefits, but also supplement those lost benefits as well. And then we'll give them flyers or more information to additional pantries that are in Clermont, as well as we've partnered with the Ohio State University Extension Program to help foster SNAP education programs. So they'll be coming into our building once a month to show people maybe how to prepare meals differently, how to stretch their SNAP benefits now that they're going to decrease.
So an example of what the SNAP benefits is, say someone who's a senior might only receive $20-some a month normally, but the last 3 years they were receiving over $200 a month. So going back to that is a hardship because they've been so used to receiving the extra benefits. So with partnering with the Ohio State University SNAP education program, which we, like I said, we're going to utilize it for children's services, just to educate on how to stretch those dollars further with healthy meals. And the pantry will be set up with very specifically to not just having like donated food where there's just boxes everywhere. It's going to be very specific to protein, vegetables, and those will be color coded. So if you're a family of 4, you come in and you get 3 proteins, you get this, and you learn how to make meals with those items. So it's very specific to education. So the next month, and that'll be towards the end of the month where there's usually food insecurity, so we can address those needs, send food home with people. teach them to make the meals, send recipes, so that we're not just having to like give food every month. We're more of an education program. So that's actually going to be starting here in the next couple weeks to address it, which will be wonderful, which we've already created flyers. We have the MOU completed, which you all approved, which will be wonderful. In addition to that, like Daphne said, is that we have used social media, and Mike's been helping us with that to get the information out. We've condensed a list of pantries around the county of what can help them, the hours. So we're not just sending anybody away. We don't want people to walk in and say, we have no food. And we're like, hey, go to these 3 pantries. We want to be able to supplement that and then give them education and information. In addition, this year for the emergency rental assistance, we received $4.9 million to help families in Clermont County with anything to do with their rent. And it could be bills for, their gas prices, electric, things like that. We have actually exhausted most of that $4.9 million. So our department applied for additional funds that were being reallocated due to other places in the United States not using the funds. And for the second quarter, we received an additional $1.4 million. And we're hoping to receive the same for the third quarter. To give you an idea, we use about $450,000 a month with this assistance. So we're really going through it quickly because of the need. And that is run through community services for us. So we're just going to keep building on it. It goes until 2025. We would have been out of funds in the next few months. So that money has been really helpful to us. So we'll continue to request those additional allocations.
Great work.
Well, we're trying. Thank you for your support.
Could you expound just on 2 things?
Sure.
One is there's a reevaluation period that has to be done too for people's eligibility. Is that correct?
For the food assistance, no. For the Medicaid, there's a reevaluation. The Medicaid return to normal should happen in May. We haven't got a lot of information from ODM, Ohio Department of Medicaid, yet on what it looks like. But the difference between that one might benefit consumers in Clermont more. It'll be month by month. So it'll start with the May, people that have renewals in May, June, July, as opposed to SNAP where everybody is being cut March 1st.
But some of those recipients may have been eligible for both, right?
Yes, some people may receive SNAP and Medicaid.
And they're actually going to see them. They could lose a bunch of Medicaid requirements and their SNAP benefits too.
Yes.
Which is, kind of a double.
Yeah. And for that, we have just a few flyers for Medicaid, but fortunately, people can go to that healthcare.gov website, the Affordable Health Care Act, and they may qualify for that. And it's usually a very, very small fee that they have to pay. $15, some $7, $20 if they're over income for the Medicaid.
I saw a statistic not too long ago that I just read talking about Medicaid that basically said that in Ohio, with that Medicaid expansion that was put in place, that, and I may have that off, I believe they said 1 in 4 citizens in Ohio collect some type of benefit. And I found that staggering.
Yeah, in Clermont County, there's a little over 45,000 people on Medicaid. So I think that's 22% of our population are on the expansion. So yeah,
And how many are receiving SNAP?
in Clermont
20-some
County, 22,000 people are on SNAP.
Mm-hmm. So, and we want to.
So yeah,
I just think those are staggering.
no, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big part of our population that just on these 2 programs that could be affected.
Well, so we're just trying to prepare.
So
for
we're trying to
this.
be proactive.
Even Daphne being connected to Ohio Means Jobs is very beneficial because we want to filter people into Ohio Means Jobs also, because obviously they're going to be struggling. We can't just give food for a month and think everything's going to be better the next month. That's not going to happen. So we want to transition people to a better way of living. So, and that's our goal.
Mhm.
I also met with the OSU extension yesterday and already, they're gearing up, ready to go.
Oh, yes, they've been wonderful.
And their SNAP Ed program just starts you from the basics and teaches
Yep.
these people how to cook and make their own food. And
Which is
especially-
beneficial in so many ways, even for
Yes.
children's services with the families we work with. So we're going to really expand that program hopefully. And
Good work. Great
Thank
work,
you.
actually.
thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, both of you.
Susan, do you think your person will show up still?
I texted, I'm.
Okay. Okay.
I should have brought him.
Okay, then we'll move on to item D, which is the consent agenda.
I do have one item.
I think we're going to ask Mr. Grabowski to come up and
Okay.
talk about the 15336.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Wade, I didn't mean to ignore you.
Wait,
Oh.
Oh, that hurt.
so we have
I
Wade has
need
two items.
Kleenex. I'm gonna cry for Wade. Feel bad for him. Go ahead.
We have two items. One is the 15336 committee. So why don't we do the change order request for that committee first?
Very good,
As you all know, you're members of that committee. So I'll let him handle that first.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right.
He'll recover.
I'll be all right. I just have to announce that it was yesterday, but I turned 60 years old, so I'm having a little bit of anxiety.
Where's the cake?
We had cake everywhere. We bought a little ice cream cake so little Noah could blow out a candle. That was the best thing that we could have done.
Happy belated.
No problem at all. So this is really a three-part change order. We've gone to the remainder of the committee. Some of the committee was out of town this week and the others weren't available. So I'm just telling you that you are the last three that are hearing this, okay? So included in these change orders are number 41, 45, and 47. Change order number 41 is the coiling grill power. Original electric drawings did not include power to the grills. I think in attendance, Commissioner Painter was there Friday. He heard the explanation. It's not unusual to forget it, but the engineer actually forgot to put power to the grills. These are security grills that come down in the hallways after hours. Second part of this request was the increase of the installation of the electric was $6,608.94. That would be an add. Change order number 45 involved the public restroom vanities. Judge Shriver initiated this request. This will eliminate the solid surfaces in the restrooms and make it very similar to what you have now, just the porcelain vanity and commode, okay? We are actually going to receive a deduct of $4,475.38 for this one. The third and final change order is number 47. This was initiated by Mark Spalding Construction. Basically includes upsizing several short lengths of ductwork for the HVAC, and there is no additional cost for this. So the total change order would be an increase of $2,133.56, bringing in the new contract sum to $8,366,844.37, which represents about a 4.68% contingency. We have a 10% contingency, so we're closing in on the halfway. Again, in my world, Commissioner, I mean, he's been there for 45 years plus. I don't like to see any contingency money spent. That's almost impossible, but that's where we are. And I'd like to include you in that. Yes.
Wait, how did they miss?
The electric,
Yes. And isn't that on them?
it is on them. And as you know, during the last conversations, we wait about 2 weeks. We put the architect on notification, and then usually Mr. Eigel, Mr. Bickford, and myself discuss it directly with the architect who we've hired. And then they have to go to the engineer and say, what are you going to do for us now? We really anticipate, and I don't want to predict anything, but we will get something back. It's just a matter of how much. So I have taken the liberty of putting, Mr. Eigel made this. These are the explanations, and on the back page is the signature sheet for each one of those.
Okay.
Do you have the master sheet? Signature sheet? Okay. That's the one we'll have to sign.
I attached that to the master. These are just the signature pages, and I attached that to it. It's just too much paper.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if are there any other questions?
We'll have to vote on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Gail, take a roll
Okay.
call.
Change order 41.
Yes.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Do you just do an individual vote for each commissioner?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
each change order request, you have to vote separately.
Mhm.
So this is the first one.
Bachelor?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Ms. Bachelor?
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
Okay.
We sign each one of these sheets.
Correct.
Mhm.
Under each change order request heading. So there should be 3 separate signatures.
Okay. Change order 45. That was the no solid surface in the bathrooms. How do you vote? Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Ms. Bachelor?
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
And change order 47. That is for the ductwork, shorter lengths of ductwork. How do you vote? Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Ms. Bachelor?
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
That's it.
And should we just go
Thank you,
ahead
sir.
and handle this?
Very
Right now
much.
and add it to the agenda and vote on it since we're on the second.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I would just make a recommendation if it's okay. Ms. Bachelor, if you would add change order number 7 to the agenda and we just vote on it now instead of waiting while we're
Sure.
just doing the
Okay.
business of that change order.
Absolutely.
I need a motion to add it.
Mhm.
I do. I'll make the motion to add.
I'll second.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Okay. Then if somebody,
Additional agenda item is as follows. Recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Bachelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 7 to the contract with Mark Spalding Construction out of Florence, Kentucky, for construction of the juvenile court expansion renovation project previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 1/26/2022 and subsequently amended on 3/9, 6/29, 8/10, 11/2, 12/14, and 1/25 of 23. All the previous were of the year 2022. For a net increase in the amount of $2,133.56, which represents changes relative to the coiling grill power, public restroom vanities, and ductwork for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $8,366,844.37, as more fully described therein, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth within the contract for the juvenile court expansion renovation.
Second?
Commissioner Painter?
yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes. Thank you, Wade.
And then Mr. Grabowski wants to discuss the furniture for this project. So that is a separate item in our capital budget that we funded, I believe Wade was at $450,000 about 4 years ago.
It was during the first bid date, which was the summer, early fall of 2019. We originally, the board approved a $450,000 budget for the furniture for the entire building. The current pricing is ranging over $700,000 for that same furniture. This would require consideration to increase the capital appropriations that have already been approved by the board. At the direction of Mr. Eigel and Mr. Bickford, we were in communication. We know that pricing has gone up during that time period. That period is about 4 years. So we did the calculations, and from late fall in 2019, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 price increases that took the $450,000 for the same furniture all the way up to $691,000. The remaining balances are subject to some changes that were done that were originally casework. Casework would be the already designed and built-in portion of things like the benches and shelving units and things like that. To try to attempt to reduce some of that cost of the casework, there was some furniture that was added. I don't know the exact amount, but I'm thinking it's right around 38,000, maybe a little less. So you'd be going from about 450,000, which was originally allocated, to about 720 to 730. And I don't have a copy for everybody, but I do have the math that we performed for all the increases. Now, let me add though that extra casework elimination will result in a deduct, because we're eliminating the casework which already been bid, adding furniture. So we're probably not going to see a 100% adjustment, but there will be some.
So the longer we prolong,
They're expecting a price increase on March the 1st. And
What's our time for the selection of the furniture and,
if the increase is going to be considered and done, I would like to have the furniture ordered. I would have to get a purchase order, obviously. I don't know if I could pull it off by Friday, but that would be good at the earliest next week early. That would avoid the price increase, which is expected to be about 6%, which would add another $26,000 onto it.
okay. And so what's the process for the other selections of the colors for any of the other materials? Is it based on the furniture selection? Or
The
how's
furniture, if we know that we're going to be able to order the furniture, I've been assured by Judge Shriver, because we are being delayed with color selections, that within 24 to 48 hours, he will choose all the other colors based on the furniture. He said that to me yesterday afternoon at the latest.
And while you're here, let's just talk about that a minute.
Absolutely.
You know, this project is in serious jeopardy.
It is.
And the reason it's in serious jeopardy is because these are delays that have been caused by the government that are not able to be negotiated or managed by the engineer and or the contractor that has been given a fixed price contract to do this job.
Their hands are tied.
It's imperative that things like color selection and fabrics and things that really were part of the submittal process, which are supposed to really be done in the first 90 days of the construction project. And how long have we been doing this construction project?
This is going on its 11th month.
So this board may be called upon to take a look at samples, carpet samples, colors, those kinds of things, to make those choices, since it's in the board's purview is facilities. The operation of the court, that falls completely within the court's jurisdiction. But these are things that are just strictly the blind types, the colors of the blinds, the carpet, the stain in the furniture. My recommendation when it comes to that stain in the furniture, and, my colleagues can take a look at whatever is brought over, but the door stain on this facility has already been picked, and these doors have been stained.
They're manufactured.
Right. And I would not think that you want to pick a different color of stain throughout a judicial building that doesn't match, some hardwood, expensive doors. So
You're absolutely correct.
I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that, because, it's critical. It's critical to actually getting it done in a time frame that's reasonable. Now, this project originally bid was supposed to be done when?
365 days yesterday.
There you go. So we have worked a year, and we are about, at the best of my ability to look at the project and walk it through, we're about 35% complete. And I can tell you that no contractor is going to take that on the chin for, being held up when it comes to unimpeded construction projects progress. We have a warranty to provide a facility that allows a contractor to be able to perform in an unimpeded manner, and we have not done that.
we have all the samples back here.
Yep.
I would suggest that we as a board look at these, talk with you, Tom, Wade, and make a choice and move on.
Mhm.
I feel like that's our duty to do this so that we can get this completed.
When they bid this job and the duration was originally 12 months, 365 days, they would have put the overhead, the profit, and the direct overhead to this project in for 12 months. Anything that runs over 12 months, they're going to be at. And daily rates of construction contractors can range from $2,600 a day to $55.
We can't keep adding money
Can't.
for the
You cannot.
cost of this because we're delaying picking up
Correct.
carpet, furniture.
And for that reason, I'd like to amend my response to Mr. Eigel as far as the time. Now that I understand the direction, I believe that it's very important for us that before our 2 p.m. meeting, which is an owner's meeting with the project, that those colors are selected so we're not delaying anything any longer. So I don't know if the direction of the board would be to approve the increase in the capital to give Judge Shriver a chance to provide the colors. That'll be completely up to you. All I can say is he agreed to do it if he knew about the furniture. But again, I agree. I don't think I would wait.
No, that's my opinion.
But on top of that, we've had contractor problems. I mean, like all these additions and forgetting that we're going to have, that we need electrical drawings and the original didn't include power grills. I mean,
Although it happens, it's not supposed to happen with the frequency. We will admit that there are engineering difficulties.
yes.
How do we attribute it? You know, the original designer was a company called Pedco. They got bought out right in the middle by a company by the name of IMEG, who's responsible for the engineering of the company they bought. They just don't know anything about the project. So
Wade,
Yes.
do you want a response from the three commissioners on this?
out of,
Is it
Mary,
today?
Mary, just, are you aware of the need to increase the capital expense for this furniture?
We are aware of the increase in cost. Now, you won't need to do any supplemental appropriation at this time because the way the budget is fixed.
Okay.
So generally, we have enough
Say
money
it.
in the budget to support that. And it just depends on the progress of the other projects that come along. So we may need to at a later date, but as it looks right now, the budget is fine to handle this.
Do we need to make any type of approval to change this from the 350,000 to, or 450,000 to the 750,000?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because it is within the scope of the appropriations. When we adopted the appropriations, it wasn't the itemized project costs. They were presented as what was included in there, but it was not detailed to that level to your budget.
So Wade, all you want to know is what the will of the board is.
I need a verbal authorization so that I can approve getting the furniture company the exact final pricing that we're going to be realized, so I can request a purchase order and get it ordered. Furniture is not, it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it is not a long lead time item. It is still here within the 8 weeks because they brought the manufacturing back from China to the United States. So instead of having boats out in the Pacific that were waiting with our furniture, we now have trains with furniture.
In my will would be proceed and proceed diligently.
Just for clarification, though, the type of furniture, it's the same that we spec'd.
We spec Han,
Okay.
okay? There are some portions of this that are Jasper. It's a very minimal amount, and they're in like public places, but Jasper is slightly more expensive, but it's right in the same line.
So Wade, the cost associated with this is going to increase, but the selection of the furniture has been made. We're just waiting on the color of the furniture, but there's not going to be a change in the type of furniture we're
No.
going to get that's going to cause any delay.
No. As part of the package that you requested me to get, I do have a preliminary drawing, locations, the type of furniture, where it goes. That can't change. I just want to be absolutely sure if the board gives me that verbal approval to proceed, that I get a final copy, I forward it to OMB, and that's when I request the purchase order, and it cannot be changed at that point.
And not to belabor the conversation or the discussion, but just keep in mind that the materials of the project usually represent about 30% of the cost. The actual cost is the installation and the contractors, which is 70% of your total cost. So if you don't have materials sitting there to put people to work, what you're going to get is a delay cost because you don't have the items that you need. So, spending a few bucks on furniture is well worth your cost versus having people delayed more days to work on this project.
And I'm sorry, go ahead,
No,
Commissioner.
I was going to say to my fellow commissioners, can you make a quick decision on colors? If you can, let's bring them out here and get it over and done.
We do meet on Monday as well, so.
Yes.
There's still
But
a few
Commissioner
samples
Painter
that I
won't
have
be
yet.
I
to
thought he
bring.
wanted to
Do them
try
right
and
now.
Do it
Do them right
now.
now. Or do it a little later in the meeting. You want to get through the business portion of it.
Yeah, and there are a few sample colors like the tile. I believe there's some stain colors that I have to get yet, but I can get them readily. If you were to tell me, bring them back here in an hour, I can do that.
Okay.
Commissioner Painter, it's got to match. You
Right.
can't have two different
Correct.
shades of
Yeah, if you can get
stain.
him here in an hour, does that work?
Do what?
He's going to get samples here?
Yeah, I don't know how long session lasts. I mean, I know I have a part in executive session as well, but if that's what you wanted to do and to
If you will do that, we can recess until such time that you have if if we
So
run out of
We can
time.
get this over and done with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that works.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Wade.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
thank you.
So I'm going to depart.
Have a safe trip.
We'll see you in a little while.
Thank you.
Susan,
Brian is not going to be coming. He's out in the field.
he forgot. Okay.
Apologize.
Well, we might as well
Well,
take a picture.
Mike, you ready for some pictures then?
Oh, Brian's behind me now.
Oh, look at that.
I saw him
I
walk.
didn't.
We saw somebody walk in.
He was whispering in my ear, and I was like.
I saw him walk in, so I wondered if that was him. You want to introduce?
Brian, come on up.
Bring up the phantom
No,
employee.
you're good.
You're fine.
Sorry, the text message said he wasn't going to be arriving. I did hear him in my ear a little bit. I was like, okay, this is Brian Green. Let me quote this information. Welcome, Brian. Okay, glad to have you here. He is currently a caseworker for our Child Protective Service agency. He moved here in 2021 from New York State. He is an avid power lifter for 15 years, plays the bass for 17 years, does karate, and holds a 3rd degree black belt. He has his associate's degree from a state university of New York. It's called Broome College. And he's working on his bachelor's degree.
Welcome.
Glad to have him.
You have a black belt.
Yeah.
We'll stand up here and back, and Michael will get some pictures.
Ready? Picture taking? You're fine. You're good. We're just glad to have you.
Be able to see who you are. Otherwise, you'll be like totally covered in shade.
Lyle thought he wasn't. No, come on in.
I'll move. We like the short people in front.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Is that the last person we have?
We move on now.
Got it.
Okay, consent agenda.
We do want to remove one item from consent agenda, and that is under the travels. And that would be for Tracy Braun for the Clermont County Chamber of Commerce 2023 Economic Forecast Breakfast. We have other funding for that. so,
Okay. I was
okay.
going to say, let's explain why. Okay, so with that correction, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Moving on to item E is the non-consent agenda. Number 8 is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 017-23, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $1,869,123.91, as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated February 8, 2023, BCC directed prepaid invoice reports, and or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor February 6, 23, and further authorizing county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you. Hi, Doug.
Hello.
We kept you waiting.
That's all right. Needed a little bit of rest. Item number 9 is a recommendation to approve the request to advertise for bids for project number RS-01-23 relative to the 2023 road resurfacing program located in various townships pursuant to the plans and specifications, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in newspaper of general circulation on February 16th, 23, with bids to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, March 2nd, 23, in the Office of Board of County Commissioners, Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly opened and read aloud. This notice is also posted on the Clermont County's website.
Thank you.
And just to make a note, we did add the additional $2 million that the board approved last week, which we appreciate.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 9. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
Number of miles and
I was
total
gonna
contract
ask that.
value.
Total contract was roughly 8.8 million. The total mileage for the county roads is 31. I believe the total mileage, I can't remember the total mileage altogether, but we added some townships and villages and everything. It's roughly, I think it was about 40 or 50 or so, something like that.
Mhm. Good.
It's roughly about an $8 million program, but the county engineers portion is $4 million. $2 million of our MV&G and $2 million from the.
And then you also have some force account work on that prepping, right? You got some culverts and stuff.
Yeah, we also do our force account where we go out and prior to the paving, we'll go out and do some berm work, improve the shoulders where we can, where it's possible anyway, and do the culverts and some things like that.
Thanks.
Doug, not to put you on the spot, but do you know
you're
off
going
the
to,
top
right?
of your head
What's
how
that?
many townships are
Well, we're actually getting,
participating this year?
we're doing Batavia Township, City of Milford, Pierce Township, Union Township, the Water Resources Department. We're doing some work for some of their drives, parking lots, and things like that. Village of Williamsburg and Williamsburg Township.
Thank you.
I had the answer.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Nah,
Next time you'll send somebody else, right?
yeah.
You might, Pierce Township here, they were listing, all the drives, Automatic's Drive and all this, but down here at the very bottom, it says Commissioner Batchelor's driveway.
I hope they hurry up and get that done. Thanks for getting me in trouble, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, my driveway's cement.
I know it is.
Item number 10. Get me out of this,
I'll
Doug.
get out quick here. Item number 10 is a recommendation to execute agreements for resurfacing of township roads between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont, Ohio, and the Board of Trustees of Batavia, Pierce, and Union Townships, and agreements for the resurfacing of village roads with the Council of the Village of Williamsburg, and agreement for the resurfacing of city roads with the Council of City of Milford for project number RS-01-23 for the 2023 road resurfacing program, whereby the county will undertake the public bidding procedure to obtain bids for such improvements and or repairs and resurfacing respectively as described in the attached Exhibit A for the township, village, or city roads at an estimated not to exceed cost of the sum of totals as outlined below, and to be paid by the county engineer by the Board of Township Trustees or the councils or the village and city in compliance with the terms and conditions set included in the agreements. And again, this is for Batavia Township, Pierce Township, Union Township, Village of Williamsburg, and the City of Milford.
Item number 10. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? I ask you that question because for anybody watching, I wanted them to understand which ones we were talking about.
Yep.
Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
Doug. Mr. Bloom,
Good morning.
good morning.
Item number 11 is a recommendation to acknowledge the electronic submittal of a grant application on or about January 24th, 2023 for funding through the Ohio EPA Division of Drinking and Groundwaters out of Columbus relative to the equipment grant program to assist with the implementation of asset management programs and to be used by the Clermont County Water Resources Department in an amount not to exceed $10,000 with no local match required, and to authorize myself, Lyle Bloom, to sign the grant agreement. So these funds were made available. There's a short window to make the application. That's part of Governor DeWine's H2 Ohio initiative for asset management equipment. We're going to purchase with this grant 2 cable pipe locators, which is utility locating equipment. Both are going to cost $12,096. So we'll get to $10,000 and then cover the remainder, $2,096, with our own funds.
Okay, thank you. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you, Lyle.
Thank you.
Mr. McNamara?
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael
Morning.
McNamara, I'm Director of Community and Economic Development. Item number 12 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 018-23, resolving to authorize the Clermont County Port Authority to issue its multifamily housing revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $62 million for the purpose of financing the cost of acquisition, construction, installation, furnishing, improving, equipping, designing, and developing an approximately 262-unit multifamily residential rental project for lease to individuals and families that earn 60% or less of area media income, which will be leased to and operated by ECG Union Commons Family LP, the lessee, and which will be located in Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 4582 of the Ohio Revised Code and Sections 13 and 16 of Article 8 of the Ohio Constitution. So these are bonds issued by the Port Authority. They don't obligate the commissioners or the Port Authority because the port is indemnified, but they are tax exempt bonds, so they require elected official approval. And since the Port Authority has approved it, but they're appointed body, it requires this to come to the requisite elected official board. There was also a TEFRA hearing held, so these are in compliance with the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982. That was held on January 20th. No public comment was received at that time. If the board has any questions, I've also invited bond counsel as well as the port's counsel to answer any questions.
Yeah, I think just one of the questions on that they might want to answer, and just to give some people some general information about these bonds, is that these bonds aren't public bonds. Is that correct? These bonds are being acquired by one particular investor. Is that correct?
Yes, now defer the bond counsel, Christopher Wallers from Ice Miller.
You bet. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yes, the bonds are going to be purchased by, I believe it's New Markets Tax, something, but it's a single investor that they've been working with to buy these bonds. And so there are two projects. There is a family project, which will be 262 units over 5 buildings, and then there's going to be a companion senior project, and that's what the second resolution is for.
And this project will be located at what location?
It will be located on Withamsville Road. I believe we've got 4342 Glen Estee, Withamsville Road, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's on the site of the old high school.
Glen Estee High School.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that site has been picked for that kind of investment for a long time. So, this is finally. And what is the advantage to the actual residents that would live in this particular place? What's that market demographic?
This project itself is designed. It's workforce housing, and so it's the kind of property that designed for like medical workers, policemen, school teachers, folks. Basically, the concept is that we're trying to make sure that folks don't spend more than 30% of their income on housing, and so this will enable them to do that. And so we've got there will be family units, and then there'll be senior units to enable families here in Clermont County to keep their seniors close by.
And the next question would be, this project is well known by the Union Township trustees and the Union Township community. There's been a presentation made to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This has been going on for, but my understanding is, nearly 2 years now.
You bet. And just this is a particular where a township picks a particular project. They bring that to the county commissioners because this is what they want to do in their location within their township, and they just need the county commissioners to help.
Right.
So that's what county commissioner is all about. So.
And what they presented to us, the drawings, the pictures, everything, it's a beautiful complex.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've had the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
A second.
Any more discussion? I think we pretty well covered it, didn't we? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. 13.
Item number 13, it is related to item number 12 because this is part of the same development, two different bond issuances. Item number 13 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 019-23, resolving to authorize the Clermont County Port Authority to issue its multifamily housing revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $22 million for the purpose of financing the cost of acquisition, construction, installation, furnishing, improving, equipping, designing, and developing of an approximately 126-unit multifamily residential rental project for lease to seniors ages 55 and over, which will be leased to and operated by ECG Union Commons Senior LP, the lessee, and which will be located in Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 4582 of the Ohio Revised Code and Sections 13 and 16 of Article 8 of the Ohio Constitution. These bonds, again, going to be issued by the Clermont County Port Authority. These do not obligate the commissioners. They are tax exempt, so they require approval by the commissioners. There was a TEFRA hearing, or a Tax Equity and Financial Responsibility Act hearing, held on January 20th. No public comment was received at that time. And the board is an appointed body, so it requires the commissioners to approve.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Chris. Thanks,
Thank
Michael.
you. Hi, Jason.
Hello. I've got item 14. This is a recommendation of the prosecutor to accept the material terms of a settlement agreement by and between Clermont County and Meyer, Meyer Inc., its related subsidiaries and entities, with respect to the ongoing national opiate litigation. It's in the Northern District of Ohio, captioned as In Re National Prescription Opiate Litigation, case number 17-MD-2804, and authorizing the execution of a participation agreement and a settlement agreement, two different documents, noting Clermont County's acceptance of said terms.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran? Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Jason.
And can I just say, on the signing of this document, it will be Claire, because when the case was filed, so it's clearly marked on there.
So I'm glad I said yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Right, right.
And we do need to submit that this afternoon.
Okay, so get busy.
All right.
Later today.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Well, Gail, it looks like you're up.
This is the Board of County Commissioners' employment of outside legal counsel pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 305.14 to advise the Board of County Commissioners as it relates to Ohio Revised Code sections 325.17 and 1901.31. And we would like to employ the law firm of Isaac, Wiles, Burkholder, and Teeter, LLC, located in Columbus, Ohio, as outside legal counsel to advise the board as it relates to Ohio Revised Code sections 325.17 and 1901.31, and further authorize our county administrator, Tom Eigel, to execute a professional services contract by and between the Board of County Commissioners and the law firm of Isaac, Wiles, Burkholder, and Teeter, LLC. And this is pursuant to and in compliance with Ohio Revised Code 305.14, and with all the terms and conditions, and with total compensation for attorney's fees and costs associated, therefore not to exceed $5,000.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
And I would second.
Any discussion?
The only discussion would be is that since this is not to an exceed amount, Tom, is $5,000 enough to where you won't have to come back and re-amend this if there's a net, because these two particular sections are not pertinent to just one particular subject.
I believe so at this point, but I
You
couldn't.
can always come back, can't we?
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Sure. Just we're starting
At this
out.
point, I believe so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. 16.
16 is an item for training and travel requests, reimbursement of expenses. And I ask that we remove this from the agenda because, as I said earlier, with the other training and travel we removed, we have found other ways to pay for this. So,
And since there's really no travel involved,
right.
Yeah.
it's here locally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could I have a motion to approve? No.
To remove?
Yeah.
Just
to
remove.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Again, we save the best to last, right, Mary?
Mary.
That's right. This item is a request to increase the annual appropriation for 2023 for the FEMA fund in the amount of $273,000. And if you'll recall, last week you reduced it in the EMA fund. And so the Budget Commission met, issued an amended certificate for this revenue for the hazard mitigation grant. And it will be deposited in this FEMA fund, and then this allows it to be spent.
For the reading of item number 17, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Mary. Additions?
Not at this time.
Wow.
We would have had one, but we already
I
said.
know. I thought maybe you'd try and sneak another one in there.
No.
Okay, then, moving on to item G is executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the promotion or compensation of a public employee or more public employees and to confer with the prosecuting attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, we will return. Thank you.
at any time.
We have returned from executive session. No decisions or action was taken. Let me reread why we went into executive session. It was pursuant to section 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the promotion or compensation of a public employee or more public employees and to confer with a prosecuting attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Mr. Igo, I think at this time we have an add-on.
Yeah, we do have a supplemental appropriation to add to the agenda.
We need a motion to do that, please.
I'll make the motion to add.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Hi, Mary again.
Morning. How are you? The supplemental appropriation is for a 2023 appropriation to amend your original 182-22 resolution. And it is for the municipal clerk of court's office to add $150,500 into the regular salary account for 5 positions for second shift. And this is prorated salaries effective February 27, 2023 to fund the 5 full-time positions that reinstate the second shift in the municipal clerk's office at the hourly rates presented by the municipal clerk, Paul Camphouse, in his 2023 appropriation request. And then in addition to that, there's $25,325 for the municipal clerk's fringe benefits. And this is for the funding of fringe benefits for the 5 new positions to reinstate the second shift at the municipal clerk's office effective February 27th, 2023. And healthcare will be provided as necessary based on the actual selections of the new hires. So this fringe benefits just includes the OPERS, SSI, life insurance, LTD, just the standard.
Or do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, it probably would be noteworthy to discuss. This is a particular request that was made at the original budget request, and this is to start a night shift at the municipal court clerk's office.
It is correct.
Prior to the pandemic, it was my understanding that they had a night shift or off shift hours that were in the evenings and on the weekends.
Yes, Clerk Rudd had 5 positions he eliminated in early 2020. And that was for a second shift and then a Thursday through Sunday or Sunday through Thursday shift. And then Commissioner Clerk Camphouse has requested to reinstate the positions that Mr. Rudd had eliminated.
And it's my understanding that having a night shift like this will provide a convenience to other law officers within the county of Clermont and their villages and other police officers to be able to come in the night shift and not only serve that complaint, but also be able to obtain the required warrant and the required, what's it called when you certify their statement?
The affidavits.
Yes, to certify the affidavit and to have it notarized properly so that a warrant is actually issued that evening and then served to that particular person that's been brought in on that complaint.
Correct. That's my understanding as well.
And that eliminates the need for that officer to come back at another time or another date or the following Monday or whatever date that is. So, it does provide a convenience. That convenience was there before. And so now Clerk Camphouse is asking for it to be reinstated. And these are the costs associated with that.
Right. It had been eliminated based on municipal court costs, traffic fines, cases had been reduced drastically. So he didn't see the need for it. And then, I guess as it's evolved, Mr. Camphouse has decided that, yes, there is definitely the need back. So cases have increased and just to provide the convenience to the law enforcement community.
And it's just noteworthy just to talk about that the ORC requirements in the state of Ohio also lean towards a clerk or an officer of the court being able to make a request for budget that affects how their operation is actually managed and conducted. And that there is an opportunity for them to compel a Board of Commissioners to provide the funds necessary for them to be able to do that. So I think that's where we're at.
Is the way the current legislation reads.
Right.
Yep.
And the opinion we received that we really have no choice but to go ahead and proceed with the request.
As you stated, that's the way the law reads now.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So we have a motion and a
Yep.
second.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
So we had a request to look at some samples for our juvenile court expansion. So we provided the samples here. So I'll let Wade discuss the samples with you.
He's going to be the man.
First of all, Judge Schreiber, I did request him to vacate the bench, which he graciously did.
Yeah.
The samples have already been here, and he has chosen them.
I'm going to see them from the distance. It helps me to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Visualized. He has
Yes.
chosen them. I'll just go over everything with you. The paint color is antique white.
Okay.
The color of the code base, which is only where carpet is a Johnsonite.
Army green.
And it's coming off.
what it looks like.
It's like a military green.
This goes with this. This is the Florida tile that goes in the restrooms and kitchens.
Okay.
This carpet was chosen throughout.
Right.
The stain colors, this is the furniture.
Mm.
This is the doors, which are already being manufactured.
Completed.
And this would be the benches.
You put this to this, this to this.
Yep. The only thing that's different is the granation, the grains. But that would be,
What about that carpet next to the brown though? That's kind of my, ugh,
I don't like that.
it's so dark, but I understand. Oh yeah, don't go sparkle on me.
No. That's
No.
not much better.
No. I understand because you're going to have the green then on all your borders. All right.
this is
The
for
lighter. Okay.
partitions,
Yes.
which goes with the tile.
All right. Hmm.
So now with these, we can turn those colors in and hopefully.
These are all in the spec, original spec.
Okay.
Those are all original spec materials.
Yeah.
There's no extra for any of that.
There is a possibility that this Florida tile has a 1% increase if we don't make the order. I don't know when the date is. It was sometime in February. Judge Schreiber has graciously said that he can use a special projects funds to cover any add-on that there might be.
I like that combination with the carpet and the tile. I think
And there's
that's
no
great.
split. This is
Okay.
throughout. This is
Okay.
throughout. There's no,
Now, we have other carpet colors, right? Back here, do we have samples of those here
I
right now?
left the book back.
Okay. I mean, is there something in there that's closer to this particular carpet they want?
It's all involving cost. For example,
Yeah.
this is about $34 a yard.
Mhm.
The free flow that's back there and the others are right around 1980.
Okay.
I know there was some commentary about the whale song. That
Right.
was $27, $28.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the price on?
What's that?
What's the price now?
$17.95.
It's almost 18 though.
18.
Yeah.
It's almost
It's at
18.
51%.
I will tell you that this is slightly higher. This is a linen 2.0, what you have on the floor here.
Okay.
It seems to be a very popular color, popular.
Yeah.
Style, if you will.
But the judge picked, and this was
This
his
is
original
his-
pick from that.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
his second pick after this.
Okay.
All right. Good.
Yeah, the Midnight Sparkle was definitely his first choice, but as you know, the committee did not approve that, so this was the secondary.
Right.
Mine on it is go ahead and conquer.
Me too.
Well, I appreciate the
We
time.
appreciate you
No
going
problem.
and getting all the stuff.
Well,
and
and
bringing
again,
it back in.
I have to respect, he left the bench to talk to me. and,
Aw, nice.
I
Okay.
didn't get to use the gavel though. so-
Oh, no, sorry.
If you'd like to hit it,
No, it's okay.
You're more than welcome.
It's okay. I'm going to
Thank you, Wade.
No, thank
for
you.
Getting all that. Thank you.
So that's all you needed to proceed.
That's it.
You have our blessing.
Okay, thank you. I'll let the judge know as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Members, anything else today before we adjourn? Claire?
Okay.
Okay. I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I was second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. We'll see you Monday.
Thank you.